I'm in the rusting yard, and this is where raw occurs. And raw is a body of work. If you turn around and look behind you, you can see some piece or two that have been done this way. And what it is I take a unprimed raw canvas and I lay it out on a surface, and I pile it with rusty objects, and I add pigment and wax resist sometimes, whatever I'm inspired to do, and I leave it out for Mother Nature to imprint it. And it can take anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months. The other body of work that I spend a great deal of time on is called significant stones. And what I do with significant stones is, one, I go out to the ocean and the river and the riverbeds and I collect stones. But here is some of my collection, and I am going to, let's do a kind of square one. I like this kind of edges. So I'm going to take this in the studio. Now that I've selected the stone, the next thing I need to do is melt some wax. And this is kind of neat. I'm kind of a purist about materials. And so I like to get my beeswax directly from the beekeeper.
Ooh.
It's fun, and I love the textures and the way it looks. And smells. And basically I'm just going to break off some. In fact, I think I'll lay it down and do it. And I'm to melt it off. And we're going to put this over here in the little pan. I use a dollar store pan, and I go through them pretty often because I have a tendency to forget them, and it's very dangerous. I would suggest using, and anyone, really you should use a double boiler with the water underneath. I've just been doing it so long, I go right for the action here. So I have turned this on. We're going to let that melt down a minute, and then I'm going to use it to, I put the wax, I cover the stone in wax. Basically what you do is, with the melted wax, you just paint it on the rock, and you cover the rock. It doesn't have to be any special depth or texture or anything. You just have to get it fully covered. And because the wax is taking quite a while here to melt, I'll show you on this smaller one that I've started already, you just put the wax all over it. You know, actually, getting it too thick is the only problem with the wax, but it can always be lessened. You can always, heat it up and take it off. And then the process is strictly take the yarn. This is cotton, sort of a textured yarn. I was trying to make a little statement here. I'm kind of a purist, as I mentioned before, and I like cotton or hemp. And you just literally, and this takes forever, there's no other way to put it, but you get it into where you want it, and you heat it up with your fingers. You just kind of press it in as you go. And after a while, you have it covered like that. I'm going to show you just real quickly some examples of what has come off the rusting, out of the rusting yard, off those tables. The pieces that are here, for the most part, have never been shown, are not stretched, and haven't been photographed. But they give you an idea of the variety of results that can come with the process that I call raw. This one spread out on the table, I like some of what is happening to it. It's more neutral in tone, but I love some of the lines that it has made that I hope to enhance. Those are significant stones, the small handheld variety, and usually partially covered, sort of design techniques rather than fully covering. And by fully covering, this is what I mean. This is a significant stone piece. This is nurture, the largest piece so far, although my goal is to get to boulders.